Hey, Tackle Warehouse, Justin Lucas hanging out with you guys here at Smith Lake again. This is one of my favorite places in the South, and it's got the same spotted bass that are in California and the ones I grew up fishing for. So I love coming out here, love fishing for them, and it's only, you know, an hour, hour and a half from my house. So we're excited to get out here today, hopefully catch a bunch of spots and get some, you know, maybe 2.5, 3 pounders. Those are good fish here. So we'll see what we can do. Freaking dropped it. There's one right there. Come on, be a good one. Afraid not. Not bad. Maybe probably just under 15 slot. We are on Smith Lake, one of my favorite places, and we're catching spots. One of my favorite bass. We're throwing a shaky head. And some people say a spinning rod sucks and is not any good, but I love it. I grew up in California, love catching them like this. And we're going after some chunky 3-pound spots today. That's the goal. All right guys, I'm tying a crazy Alberto knot. You guys have probably seen it, but you make a loop, wrap down 6 times, 6, and then back over the knot 6 times again. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Went through the top of the loop the first time. Now I'm going to come through the bottom and out the top, wet it down, and then pull on the tag in. You can see how small that knot gets. It's a really good knot. It's the only one that I tie for braid, any kind of braid to fluorocarbon, bait, cast, or spinning. So you guys definitely check out the crazy Alberto knot. There's a bunch of YouTube videos out there that I've done where you can see how to, you know, real detailed how to tie it. That's what it looks like when you're finished. All right, I'm using a 1/4 ounce shaky head, and with the leader line here, I'm gonna tie San Diego knot. So put the line through the bottom. This is what I use almost probably over 50% of the time, just because of how quick and efficient it is, and it is a strong knot. Go through, make a loop, wrap down 6 times, 4, 5, 6, come through the bottom loop, and then the top one, take your finger out, and good to go. That's a San Diego jam knot, and like I said, one I've been tying for a long time and just never fails me. And then of course, we're gonna put the general on and get back to work. Just like that. Good to go. There he is. They're on the inside of this point for whatever reason. Come on, dude. Little shaky head fish. Largemouth or, yeah. Largemouth. Wind is howling too. It is not ideal conditions for a shaky head, that's for sure. You know, I need to probably pick up a moving bait. It's just really windy, but earlier when it wasn't that windy, we were throwing the general around some brush piles, some that I caught them in a few weeks ago, and they're not in them as good right now. I think if you really tried to pound them, you could catch a few out of them. But it's getting a little too windy for the shaky head now. There he is. Come on, dude. Just a little spot. Gosh, man, we haven't caught any big ones on a shaky head today. It's still a bait that I always have tied on pretty much anywhere I go, but especially when I'm fishing any kind of clear water, deep water like here at Smith Lake. So it hasn't been the big time productive one today, but hey, we're still getting bites. Still fun, just not the 2.5s and 3s like we're looking for, like we could probably catch on swim baits or something else right now. All right, on the shaky head, I only use one rod ever on a shaky head, and you can tell by the size of that hook. It's pretty thick gauge, you know, that's a pretty big hook for 8-pound line, and when you're casting out deep, you know, 20, 30 feet of water, you gotta be able to penetrate their mouths. So I use a 7-foot medium heavy. Some people might think that's too heavy, but I'd rather be able to put the hook, you know, the barb past their mouth and worry about fighting them and all that later on. I need a stiff rod. I throw 8-pound Fireline Ultra 8, and this is an 8-pound Berkley Trilene 100% fluorocarbon leader. And then of course the REVO X size 30, just a really fast reel. And when you're throwing a spinning reel, it's a 6:2 to 1 gear ratio. You know, I'm doing all the movement with this bait with the tip of the rod. So the reel is constantly picking up slack and reeling the bait in to make another cast. So I want a fast reel. But that's all you need for a shaky head setup right there. That's all I use everywhere I go on a shaky head. You know, I'm out here fishing about 22, 24 feet of water, and there's some brush piles that I know about that are around the area. And I just want to show you guys how useful 360 really is, Humminbird 360. If you look right here, I've got spot lock on, so we're not moving. And I've got it set up. I know this brush pile is right there. So the front of the boat's right here. Every ring is 20 feet. So 20, 40, 60 feet, and you can see that brush pile right there. And that's exactly where I'm wanting to cast. And there's no way, you know, that I would be able to be efficient at making that cast if I didn't know exactly where that brush pile was. So for anything ahead of the boat, 360 is a huge deal. Even behind the boat, there's stuff I miss sometimes and don't hit right, but you don't look for fish on it as much as you do structure. So brush pile, rocks, boulders, grass lines, it's great. And just isolated stuff like that, you know, is what's gonna hold the fish, and it's what shows up on 360 so well too. So it's really been a key tool for me. And I got 4th here at the Bass Open in September, and it was strictly because of 360. There's no way I would have been able to probably even top 10 without it. Honestly, the bite was really tough, and this is pretty much exactly what I was doing. Got one. There he is. Come on, give me a, man, I cannot catch a good shaky head fish today. Not a big one anyway, plenty of bites, but that's not gonna win you a tournament on Smith Lake. That's not even gonna be keeper size right there. Well, probably a keeper. It's gonna be our biggest one on the shaky head for the day. Plenty of bites on it, you know, and like I said, it's just something that you always, always gotta have tied on. That's probably about a 15-incher. It's definitely a keeper here at Smith. I mean, it's a nice spot, but you know, today you can tell how windy it is. Not a perfect day for a shaky head, but still a lot of fun, and I always have it tied on here. You can catch a lot of quality spotted bass just like that, and a lot of times some real big ones too, but they're definitely feeding up right now, not on the bottom very well, but yeah, still a fun day throwing a shaky head and some swim baits and other stuff. All right, everyone. Hey, thanks for tuning into this week's vlog. Make sure to like, share, and tag a friend on this post. Berkley and Abu are giving away some sweet stuff. You don't want to miss out on that. And make sure to tune in next week as well. We're gonna have some more good stuff for you. And as always, everything you saw today is available at tacklewarehouse.com. We got a little bit of time left before dark, so we're gonna keep fishing. Come on, dude. Oh, what the hell? It's an Alex Davis bass. Little Smith Lake largemouth. Needs to swim to Gunnersville and get bigger.